All right, guys, out exploring Cleveland, thought we'd check out the Rock Hall. Hello, Myra Explorers. I'm here with Jason Hanley, the Vice President of Education and Engagement. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Welcome to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
My goodness, thank you for having me behind the scenes.
Yeah, we're actually here kind of in the back offices, which is a fun place to be, right? In a museum that pulls people from all around the world to come here to Cleveland.
And that's what we're going to talk about. Yeah. So first, the Rock Hall has been part of the Cleveland skyline for 30 years. And I noticed there's some new construction outside. So can you tell us what's going on?
It's really exciting. You know, we are in the middle of the first expansion the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame has ever had. And like you said, this September, it'll be 30 years that the museum has been here in Cleveland, opened in 1995. And the original building that we're in right now was famously designed by I.M. Pei, one of the most famous architects in the world. In fact, if you've ever had people say to you, the Rock Hall Pyramid looks a lot like the Louvre Pyramid, because it is. It's the same designer, I.M. Pei, who built both. So, you know, it was an interesting moment to think about expanding this building, trying to make sure we honored the original I.M. Pei pyramid that's here, but find a way to do something new. So everything that's going in between us and the Great Lakes Science Center, it'll be part of our expansion. And it's pretty cool. We're going to have a new concert venue, Baker Hall, that's going to be in there. And it's going to actually allow us to do bigger concerts inside there, as well as education programs. In fact, we're going to have a new education center. The Hanley Family Student Center will be the first time we've ever had a dedicated space for teaching, which we do a lot of. We're going to have a whole brand new stairway when you come in. That's going to be a free and public space. So we're hoping, you know, a lot of people will just kind of come down to the lakefront and enjoy the free public spaces of the Rock Hall. And it's going to allow us to take some spaces like the one we're in right now and convert it into new exhibition space. So even though there won't be as many new exhibits in the new building, it's going to allow us to convert more of this current building into exhibition space. So yeah, it's going to be a major change, and we're excited. It's going to be a lot of fun. Right now, it's all coming up out of the ground. You know.
When are you looking to have that project completed?
Hopefully by the somewhere around the end of 2026, so about a year and a half from now. You know how construction projects go, but so far everything's on schedule, and you know we're really looking forward to it. It's going to be exciting to think about what we're going to be able to do new in the expansion that we haven't been able to do just because of space constraints here.
So you mentioned that there's, you know, the type of people that come from all over the world to visit, and then there's also the locals. So for the locals, what are some things that are happening here that they may not be aware of, that they can take advantage of?
Yeah. It's funny, I often think about, I'm from New York originally, and I often talk, you know, when you talk to a lot of people around Cleveland, many have participated and come to Rock Hall programs over the year, but you know, every once in a while I'll talk to people like, I've never been there. I always say it's like the Statue of Liberty syndrome, right? If you live in New York City, you probably don't go out to the Statue of Liberty. That's like the tourist thing to do. But at the museum, there are so many great things that if you live in Cleveland or Northeast Ohio, that you can take advantage of. We have a lot of free programming here all the time. Some of our community festivals that we have. In fact, this coming summer, as part of our Rock Hall Live concert series and event series, we'll have a festival on Mixed Juneteenth, taking Juneteenth and Pride Month, mixing those together for a fun community event. We have something called Fam Jam for families to come out and explore. We have a Hispanic Heritage Month festival that we do. All of those are free. But also on top of that, if you live in the city of Cleveland, like if your driver's license says Cleveland on it, you can get free admission to the museum any time of the year. And that's through our Cleve VIP program. It's sponsored by KeyBank, and it's an amazing opportunity for Cleveland residents to come. If you are not in the city of Cleveland, if you live in Shaker Heights or Lakewood or something else, there are Northeast Ohio discounts that apply. So you should make sure you check the website for those. We also, if you're a family that's on SNAP benefits or assistance programs, we partnered with a group called Museums for All, that all around the country, they make museums affordable. You can get a ticket for just $1 through that program.
It's incredible.
So check rockhall.com. There's a lot of great things. We also offer student discounts for students. We offer military discounts, first responder moments. So yeah, there's a lot of great ways to get into the museum at discounted prices. But we also like to think of this place as just somewhere that's fun to be for live concerts. We have free concerts on Thursday nights. throughout the summer that feature local musicians performing, so you can get to know a little bit more of the music scene here in Cleveland.
Is that happening now?
It'll start in June, and then it runs all the way through August. And again, the rockhall.com events calendar will give you ideas of all of those, and it'll say if it's a free event or it's one you have to pay for.
How often do you actually change the exhibits? And maybe you
Yeah.
can share some exhibits you have currently having and some future ones.
I will tell you, working here, one of the things I love doing is going out into the main exhibit hall and looking around. Because even me, like, I'm in here every day, and there's still something new I haven't seen before, right? So we tend to change our major exhibits about once a year. And that would be something really large. Like last year and the year before, we had our Hip Hop at 50 exhibit. We opened last summer our Bon Jovi exhibit, which is still open. So if you're a fan of Bon Jovi, there's a whole floor of the museum dedicated to that. We opened our Revolutionary Women in Rock exhibit last year, but that's still open now as well. And that looks at all the great women in rock and roll from about 1975 forward. And this year, actually on May 23rd, we're going to be opening Saturday Night Live 50. So if you've been watching SNL this whole season, it's been a lot of great comedy going on. And, you know, they're celebrating 50 years of that show. And if you think of how important music has been, right? Every week there's a musical guest. A lot of times you'll have some of the hosts might be musicians, and a lot of them are Rock and Roll Hall of Famers. So this is going to be a chance for you to not only see the musical sketch comedy, which is some of my favorite, like the Blues Brothers or Wayne's World or things like that. But you'll also get to see clips and footage of all of the artists who have performed over the years, including some of their stage costumes and set design, instruments. So I can't wait for that. That'll open this summer, and it'll be here for the rest of the year, too.
Do you guys do like a big
like
concert?
an opening event.
An opening
we
event?
usually do an opening event. So again, check on rockhall.com. In fact, not only are we going to have an opening event related to that, but we'll probably have a series of things throughout the year that'll kind of focus on SNL at 50, which will be a lot of fun.
So Jason, I heard if you're local and you love music, you can get a membership called a duet.
Absolutely right. In fact, membership is really important for museums, and it is here too, because I always say membership is both a benefit to you and to the museum. So a duet is a great one if you're going to come down to the museum on a regular basis. If you come to the museum twice in the whole year, you pay for your membership already. And a membership gives you access to the museum year-round, so you can come any day you want. It gives you a free t-shirt that you get, which is really cool, like a member t-shirt. Also, you get discounts and to a lot of our programs. So if there's a paid concert or an event we're doing, you'll get a member discount. It also gets you first access to a lot of programs too, and that includes our concerts as well as the induction ceremony. So if you're interested in never going to see an induction ceremony live, it is well worth it to get a membership because you'll get a first chance to do that. And there's a lot of different membership levels too. You can get a family membership if you want to come with a family. Some of the memberships allow you to bring guests from out of town. So we get that question a lot, like, hey, my cousin's visiting from, California. Well, if you have a membership, you can actually come in and bring that person with you. And the memberships help support our education programs too. So it's kind of a win-win for everybody.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit more about the education programs. What kind of education comes out of here?
Yeah, that's an area that's obviously near and dear to my heart. We have education for all different grade levels. So we actually start with our youngest program called Toddler Rock, where actually pre-K students come in and they learn things like numbers and letters and social skills through music and interaction here in the museum. We also have kindergarten through 12th grade programming where we connect the history of rock and roll up to whatever they're learning in school. It could be science or English or history. We have a college class that we run here in coordination with Cuyahoga Community College. And we even do adult education programs in the evening a lot. So it's a core part of the mission of who we are, is to educate about this art form. Because if you think about it, like so many of the stories of rock and roll and the artists connect back to stories about us, right? It's how things have happened throughout our history, how people have responded to it, songs that connect us to things that are happening, and that's going on right now today, right? Think of how many artists are out there making a statement about the world around us, and they're doing it through music. So that education piece is really important to us.
Is there current rock and roll artist?
Yeah, so you have to have had a record out 25 years ago to get inducted, and that's kind of a rolling number. But people often think, oh, is that the only artist represented here in the museum? And it's not. We have exhibits that are artists that are on tour right now. In fact, a lot of artists that are on tour, they want to come tour the museum and see the artifacts and the history, and they'll maybe loan or donate something to us. So you'll find current artists that are on exhibit that are out there, brand new people who are out performing right now. So it's always a great mix of the history of rock and roll and what's happening today.
All right, great. Are you going to give me a little tour behind the scenes?
Yeah, I think you want to go look around a little bit. I mean, it's a good place to be.
Let's do it.
Yeah, awesome. The current building, which is this whole giant tent, 6 floors that go up other than the downstairs. And when it connects to the new building, the corner of this building is actually going to be inside the new one. So the new building is actually going to come over and
It'll be
attached
like a
to
walkway?
this. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay.
So the walkway in the front, both buildings will be attached to each other. And then you'll be able to walk in here and see the whole, building and still all the exhibits in this place. So
Now, is it the same architect?
new architect, but some of the same architectural firms that worked on this are helping out. And the people who designed the new building were really careful. They wanted to make sure they respected the design of this. So there's a lot of homages to this building and that one. Even if you look at like the big drum that's over here, right, that hangs over the lake, that's kind of echoed by what's going to be in that new concert space. So the forms will kind of echo each other, which will be cool.
Nice. So many amazing things here.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, show me what.
Yeah, like this piano we're standing in front of. Wow. This belonged to Jerry Lee Lewis, who recorded at Sun Records with Elvis and everybody.
Yeah.
But this was his childhood piano, and you can see it's beat up, it's destroyed.
Yeah.
But I love an instrument like this because it tells such a story.
Right.
And when he passed away years ago, his family donated it to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
So it's really special that we can have this incredible instrument that's part of his story here every day. So we're in the Revolutionary Women exhibit now.
Yes.
So this is actually an artifact we have from Meg White, who is one of the 2 members, her and Jack White, in the White Stripes.
Yeah.
And I love these artifacts, right? Because their whole idea in their performances was to capture this black, white, and red. And you can see even on the drum head in her outfit that she's wearing, it's all, that kind of look that the band had.
Yeah.
Plus she was a great drummer. Awesome band, and they're getting inducted into the Rock Hall this year, in 2025. So the Stones were in Cleveland last year, and we completely redid our Rolling Stones exhibit.
Wow.
So there's so much great stuff in here, from like backstage set list of theirs, instruments they played, things from all their different tours. So if you're a Rolling Stones fan, this is a great place to come check out the whole new exhibit. So you can pick a lesson and it teaches you actually how to play. There I am, look at that guy.
Jason, thank you so much.
Thank you. That was a lot of fun, right?
It was so much fun. I love it. Thank you so much. Now, if people are from Cleveland, they have no excuse to not to come.
That's right.
Right.
In fact, if your ID says Cleveland on it, you can take advantage of our Cle VIP program. There's also memberships that you can take advantage of to support the museum and come here. And there's just things happening all the time.
Right.
So
now, can you share the website one more time?
Yep. Rockhall.com. Nice and easy. It'll give you ticketing information, membership information, as well as all of our events and programming.
Thank you so much. Now, if you're from Cleveland, there's no excuse why you can't come to the Rock Hall.